Played off by Duray. This is McLaren. Leaving it to Durant. McLaren. Durant again. Looking for Haitley, but the flag's up on the far side.
A good ball by Durant. Mark Haitley just slightly offside. Linesman his flag up straight away, but Rangers, Ian Durant's got to slot into that midfield role that Paul Gascoigne vacated. There's got to be a tight three in the middle of the park. Ian can't go wandering off all over the place. He's got to get in touching distance of Charlie Miller and Stuart McCall, because that's where the strength of this Cypriot team is, in the middle of the park.
Well, Richard Goff penalised for a challenge. So free kick to Anorthosis. We're just coming up for the half-hour mark. Well, with a great financial gulf between these teams in just about every way, but only a goal separating them, and if Anorthosis get one back, this crowd will really come alive. So Rangers will want to keep things as calm as possible. They've made a decent start to the game, but that's given away to Castana. Panayotou. This is Gogi. Ashodi. Well, almost catching Andy Gorham. Gorham skipping the ball away with his right foot. Well, Ashodi is a player who does pack a good shot, and he's very often on target. And as we see that replay, Rangers had broken at the other end, but the ball drifted away from Mark Haitley. And now it's Kiriakov looking for Gogi. Oh, just a little warning there for Rangers. This is Goff. Durant. That's McLaren. Bring it through, looking for Robertson. Panayotou is there. Robertson challenges. And that's a free kick to Anorthosis. Well, the Cypriot team as well, still looking for their match fitness. Their season doesn't begin until mid-September. This is Kiriakov. That's a slack one by him. Headed forward by right, looking for Haitley. Andreu, who seems to have recovered from his injury. He's got the initial touch there. This is Stavro. That's Todorov. Gogic is having to come deep, looking for possession. This is Panayotou. Petric getting the touch. Now it's Stephen Wright. Playing it through, looking for Haitley, but asking an awful lot of him. Panayi, the sweeper's in there ahead of him. No, there's no frantic play, and you wouldn't expect it from the Cypriot side. They'll just plug away, play more or less the same game they played at Ibrox. And they'll be happy to get a goal over the 90 minutes, but if Rangers can just nick one, it'll make such a difference. This is Panayi. Pressured there by Charlie Miller. Panayotou. Todorov. Kiriakov. Gogi. Switch of play out to Andreu. This is Ashodi. Gogi. Well, just playing the hopeful ball in. That's an easy one for Andy Gorham, and that will be a welcome sign for Walter Smith. And the Rangers players, at the moment, Anorthosis lacking in ideas.
Well, they're just really passing the ball around amongst themselves, trying to work an opening, hitting British type long balls, really, and That's food and drink to Gordon Petrish and company, so hopefully they can hit a few more of those and they can mop them up the way they have been doing. But if you come towards half-time, you get the feeling that they're going to just contain things, Rangers, and just try and see this. They've given goals away in Europe right in the end of games and right at half-time before, so if they can see that at half-time, get a good talk to from Wallace Smith and Archie Knox, then they can look forward to the second half with other confidence.
This is Kiriakov. Right off by Gogi. Panay gets the touch to Panayotou. Gogi again sending it wide to Kiriakov. Well, Petrick's launching himself at that one, and the referee quite rightly waves play on. The Cypriot fans don't like it at all. Petrick's made a good contact with the ball. This is Castanas. Put out by Robertson. Castanas again. Kiriakov. Panayotou. This is Andreu. Now the home fans trying to lift their team. And Richard Goff gets the touch for Rangers. This is Stephen Wright. Petrick. Good ball through to Durant. And he gets the free kick. Panayotou making the challenge. Well, Gordon Petrick sent that ball through to him. Being very lackadaisical. And then he hit a very good pass. Kicked out Durant, and he was brought down by Andros Panayotou. So just 10 minutes left till half-time here in Larnaca. It's Anorthosis 0, Rangers 0 on the night. Rangers leading by a 0-0 from the first leg. Gordon Jury strike at Ibrox. A chance here for Rangers. Gordon Petrick is hovering there. So too is Durant. And it's left to Petrick, who drives it through. And that ball took a deflection en route. And it's a corner kick. Well, Petrick can strike an excellent ball, and he demonstrates it yet again. And the referee immediately pointed out towards the corner flag, so the pressure still on. And it's Ian Durant coming across to take this one. Richard Goff's well forward. Haitley's there also. And it's Haitley fouling the goalkeeper. He went in for that ball. And Durant hasn't given up on the European record for Rangers. As I said when he came on, he scored 9 goals. Ali McCoy, who's on the bench tonight, has 12. Which is the same as Ralph Brand's record from the 60s. Durant, of course, has scored a couple of marvellous goals in the Champions League run 3 years ago. That unforgettable one in Marseille, and also against Bruges and Ibrox. If he could add to that tonight, he'd be mightily pleased. This is a short stop. And it's Robertson. Properly cleared up. Panayotou moved forward onto it, but it was McLaren who came across to block that one. Robertson was tied in against the corner flag. So they got that ball away. But there's been a handball and a free kick now to Anorthosis. And they've left Panay, the sweeper, just inside their own half. Everyone else pushing forward here. Panayotou. Kiriakov closed down by Durant. A little nutmeg there. Great play by Kiriakov. He runs in looking for the return. Richard Goff trying to stay with Gogic. He's a difficult customer to pin down. And he gets the corner kick. Well, again, it was superb play by Kiriakov to start all of that off. And the Rangers facing a bit of pressure here as the minutes tick away towards half-time. Haitley's back there doing some defending, but a bit of pushing by Castanas.
Yes, referee saw that quite clearly, a definite push by Kastanis. But once again, it's that man, Kiriakov. When he gets the ball, a little nutmeg on Indurant. Indurant won't like to be reminded of that in the dressing room later on. But once he gets that ball, he plays his little 1-2s, his little give and goes into the heart of the Rangers defence. And Rangers with 3 central defenders have coped well so far. But you never know. One ball, one ricochet, and the ball could fall to his feet. But he's the main danger for the Cypriot team. If they can contain him in the second half, they've got a good chance.
McLaren switching the play over to Stephen Wright. Petric. Jury. That's McCall. Rangers being patient. And as Terry said, they'll be quite happy to go to the dressing room at 0-0. If you're coming officers, it's Todorov. It's one of these games where defenders have got to be in their toes for the full 90 minutes. That's a free kick against Gogi.
Yeah, Richard Goff reading the situation well, coming in front. He's done well, same as Gordon Petric and Alan McLaren especially have done well to contain Gogic, because when he does get the ball, he does rifle and has a good goal for goal. He's got an eye for goal. And luckily so far he hasn't been able to really strike one, as we know he can do. But the back three have done well. I'd just like to see David Robertson get into the game a little bit more down the left-hand side. Stephen Wright as well. The Rangers have the flank positions, they have the wide positions, and from those wide positions they can get good quality balls into Mark Haitley.
So just 5 minutes of the first half left. No scoring here in Larnaca. Played through looking for Robertson, but the offside flag had gone up. So Richard Goff, the Rangers skipper, into his 9th season with the Ibrox club. He's joining from Spurs. Terry said he's had a good first half, and I think Gordon Petric has certainly helped the back so far tonight. He's used the ball well, and the defence has looked a lot more settled than it did in the first leg. But against players like Gogic and Kiriakov, they'll have to be mighty careful. And this is Panayotou. Todorov making a good run on the right side of the penalty area, and getting the free kick conceded there by Charlie Miller, who pleads his case to the referee. But despite all Rangers have achieved in this first half, with just 4 minutes of the first half left, they're facing a lot of pressure again. So, Anorthosis is pushing just about everyone forward. Todorov who takes it. And it was Petric who got his head to the ball initially. This is Ashuris trying to tee something up for Andreu. Blocked by Stephen Wright, gets a second bite at it. Kiriakov there, and McLaren in bravely, and he gets the free kick, high foot from a little midfielder. Well, you know, Anorthosis has got this man for just $100,000 US, which went into his bank account. There was no transfer fee, and it really does show you. But if you scout around, you can get tremendous bargains in European football. Jordan Jordanov, the number 2 at the club, is the man who brought him here. Of course, he was well known to Vasilev, the coach. Gordon Jury is trying to turn with just a couple of minutes of the first half left. Teams certainly haven't found it easy coming here in recent years, and Anorthosis is constantly improving, both on the domestic front and in European football. This is Todorov. Gogi switching the play now to Panayotou. So that all breaks down for Anorthosis. But again, you can see Gogic, the number 9, he works so hard. He'll come back looking for possession, he'll drift wide, always trying to bring other players into the game. Stuart McCall, across to Petrich. So Terry, just a couple of minutes of this first half left. Your overall thoughts?
Yes, very good from Rangers' point of view. They've looked good going forward. Posed a bit of better quality balls to Mark Haitley and to Gordon Dury, but they've looked well. Had a penalty appeal turn, and if they can just get hold of this man on the ball now, Kyriakov, if they can just get hold of him, the midfield three can keep tight, make sure they don't get beaten by 1-2 something else, and if they can get a hold of him, then I think they've got a great chance. It does remind you of Levski Sofia many years ago, or 2 years ago, and I think the coaches got the same thing. Just be patient, he's saying to the Cypriot team, just be patient because you might get a chance later on in the game to level the actual tie. So I think that's what they're trying to do. But Rangers have got to be even more patient. Like you said at the back, they've got to be clever, they've got to be very much coordinated, very much concentrated. And, if they can keep that concentration level up all the time, I think they've got a good chance of going through.
So we're inside the final minute of the first half. Still no scoring on the night. Haitley challenging. He plays it through to Kyriakov. So Geeks again, coming deep for the ball. Rangers standing for him. It's Stephen Wright. Doesn't want to dwell too much on it though. Played off by McCall. This is McLaren. Rangers just playing out time in the first half. 17 years now in the European Cup, Rangers, a Scottish record. They overtook Celtic's record of 15 seasons last year, but Celtic, of course, past winners of the tournament. And here's a break on now. Further off is racing through the middle. Goff spotted the danger, but Andy Gorham had come well off his line. Picked that one comfortably. And this is Durant. Oh, it's turned into quite a cool evening here when we landed on Monday night, just about kick-off time. There was sweltering heat. It cooled down a bit yesterday, and when the Rangers players trained here last night, again at 8 o'clock, it wasn't too bad, and certainly there's no complaints weather-wise. We had been warned to expect very high temperatures at kick-off time. And there goes the half-time whistle. So Rangers will be well pleased with the first half. Charlie Miller carrying a bit of a threat up front. Gordon Petrich and Richard Goff playing extremely well at the back for Rangers. Stuart McCall sitting in midfield, doing a good job there. And Walter Smith will be happy with the proceedings. It's Anorthosis 0, Rangers 0.
Yes, Rangers' European dream is still very much alive. Join us again after this break and hear what Trevor Stephen and John Brown think of Rangers' first half performance. Welcome back. In Larnaca, it's 0-0 at the moment. Trevor, you happy with that?
So far, so good, John. We've set out our stall and really played as Walter Smith, I think, would have wanted us to play. No goals against, and we've had more chances than they've had, so things are looking good for the moment.
John, of course, you're on the coaching staff at Ibrox right now. What will Walter be saying at half-time?
I think looking at the first 45, they'll be very pleased, and if the boys just keep their discipline, looking at them, I don't think they've got a great deal in there to really hurt us. They're having shots at the edge of the box. I don't see them getting behind us, and I think if the boys keep their discipline, I'm sure we could maybe even get a goal.
Gascoigne didn't last long, did he, Trevor?
No, I was disappointed and don't actually know what was wrong with him, but Ian Durant stepped in and looked comfortable, and he's been on the ball quite a lot since Gascoigne went off, so that's good news. As long as it continues in that vein, then we'll be more than happy, because they don't really seem to have a goal threat. Although they've had one or two minor chances, but nothing really that had us on the end of our seats.
OK, let's get to some of the action then. Charlie Miller, John, he posed an early threat, didn't he? And you were off your seat. You thought it was a clear-cut penalty kick.
Yeah, he's definitely been the live list. He'll make a great run, cut inside, and the guy definitely took him down. I don't know what the referee's thinking there. Clear penalty. And he goes through again, the guy takes him down. Charlie's definitely looked the live list, and the fact we never got a penalty, I think it was
to us, we were up in arms that it wasn't a penalty, because he showed great skill by cutting inside, and he just didn't get what he deserved there, because that was a penalty.
To get it at that stage too, 6 minutes gone would have been great, but the boys have just kept plodding on, and we've created a few chances and looked to be the likelier team to score.
We know all about this guy, Todorov. He's been a thorn in Rangers' flesh in the past, and he came close tonight, Trevor.
He did. This is the one or two instances when they were dangerous in the first half. They got a little bit of play around the box, and Todorov should have really hit the target there. And you know, that was bringing back some bad memories, but thankfully he went the wrong side of the post, and we lived to fight again.
Andy Gorham did very well. I don't know that he knew an awful lot about this shot, Johnny, saved with his legs, but again, Gorham, such a key player for Rangers.
Oh, it definitely is. Looking at the chance, I think he wasn't sighted. I think Alan McLaren was in front of him. The shot comes in, and he managed to get. Andy stays on his feet, and as you see, he just clears it with his feet. He's done it over the years that he stays up. He stays up plenty of time, and he done it again. And you can see
something definitely happened to the ball on the way through there, because that was an unorthodox save, and Andy very rarely makes those sort of saves.
But we would settle for them just continuing to shoot from outside the box, because we've got a goalkeeper who's definitely world class, and he'll cope with that all day.
Yes, indeed. OK, well, we'll take a short break now. Join us again in just a couple of minutes from now for all the second half action live from Larnaca. As you know, right now it's 0-0 as things stand. Welcome back. It's 0-0 over in Larnaca. Let's go there now, see the live pictures. Now, Paul Gascoigne didn't last long in that first half. We hear he's got a groin injury. He's going to sit out the second half in the dugout, but we hear that he's in a pretty distressed state, Trevor. He can't be too happy.
He'll obviously be disappointed not to be out there. I don't know how serious that injury is, but he's trying to get it treated there.
Yeah.
But he'll be disappointed at the fact that he's not actually on the pitch.
He'll be fed up, John, because he was so pumped up for the match tonight.
Yeah, definitely got his wound up for it, but I think the manager's got a squad of players that we can cope with it. You look at an international player coming on in Ian Durrant, and he's experienced throughout, that we've got bags of cover there anyway, and it's disappointing for Paul, but we've definitely got cover to come in and do a job.
But this is a worrying aspect about Paul Gascoigne, lack of games in a season, isn't it? And we're seeing it again tonight.
Yeah, it's difficult to judge him on that incident.
Sure.
You know, he's been available for every game up to this stage in the season, and you can't just write him off because he's got maybe a niggling groin injury or whatever. Hopefully it's nothing serious. He'll be available for Saturday, but we'll just have to wait and see.
You know, John, now and again, Goran Petric is so cool on the ball, but we worry about that now and again, but he can certainly pack a free kick, can't he? And he showed that again tonight. Great free kick from Petric. Yeah,
magnificent strike. Gordon's been known to have a bit of a shot, and he definitely showed it there tonight. That you know, around about 30 yards, you can hit target, and I think it took a deflection anyway. But you know, he's a threat from that area.
There we are. The backroom boys got there eventually. We're seeing it now, Trevor.
Yeah, we didn't quite see Gordon striking the ball, but we were fully expecting it to hit the back of the net, sat here, and we weren't far wrong. He was a little bit unlucky. I don't know where the deflection came, but. A foot wide, not far.
It looked as though the keeper was beat there anyway, even if it hit target.
Big Butcher said in his co-commentary, John, that it's all about concentration, keeping the concentration level high. I think he's pretty accurate with that statement, isn't he?
Yeah, I think you're at a level European stage that it's important that you keep your concentration throughout the 90 minutes. I think if you slacken off at any moment, teams with quality players can hurt you.
Will the Cypriots' heads be down at this stage, do you think, Trevor? They've got it all to do, haven't they?
They can't have too much confidence left. They've tried to thread the ball through us, and we've dealt with that, and then they've tried to knock the long ball, and we've dealt with that as well. You know, we're quite happy for them to hit shots from 30 yards. Said that before in the past, but been proved wrong. But hopefully that's what we're going to limit them to, and every faith in Andy Gorham to keep them out.
Yes, indeed. OK, well, let's go back now live to Larnaca. Anorthosis 0, Rangers 0. Back to you, Jerry.
And Anorthosis just about to kick off. And just look around the Rangers team there, no further changes. Of course, the manager can use 3 substitutes now under FIFA and UEFA rules, and but of course that can include the goalkeeper, so we don't want to be too rash at this stage of the game. And looking at the Cypriot side also, we don't see any change there, and Dreout, the number 3, with the bandaged head, is back on the field. He took a hefty knock and had to be carried off in the first half. So the Hungarian referee, Laszlo Wagner, final check of the watch. And with the linesman. So Rangers will be pleased with the first half performance, and they'll want to keep things fairly calm in a stadium where it's not easy to win. And Anorthosis won the championship by 7 points, losing just 2 games, both of them away from home. And the president then thanked the coach for not winning the cup as well. So it shows you the height of their ambitions. Out and sanctioned some money to bring the 3 Bulgarian players here. So here's an early threat, and Robertson did well as Ashuris attacks the ball. The Cypriots have got the start to the second half they want. It's a corner kick and a chance to apply some pressure on the Rangers defence. Rangers' other outfield players tonight are McCoist, Cleland and Murray. There's no need to tend to the magic dust of McCoist just yet. It's Kiriakov hitting that one. Well, a disappointing ball, but still Anorthosis have it through Todorov. Playing it through there looking for Andreu. So Rangers players will looking at the number 10 there. Nikolai Todorov. 3 championship medals he won with Levski Sofia, and during that spell, of course, his last-minute goal knocked Rangers out of the European Cup. He had a spell also with Montpellier in France. So it's Petric taking the kick. Headed on well by Haitley to Jury. We need some support here. Durant's racing into the box, and Stephen Wright's coming in support. This is Wright. Jury again. Rangers getting players forward. The Jury's got a lot to do here, and he gets the free kick. So things looking up for Rangers now, and that's the signal for Golf to come forward. You can see Jury tumbling there out on the right-hand side of the field. So it will be Durant to take it. Golf has moved forward, so too has Petric. Haitley's at the far side. There's a lot of height there. Right, Haitley getting the touch. Away by Panayotou. And Gogits does well to gain possession. Getting away there from Stuart McCall. Showing pace going forward. Haitley's gone back to block him. It's McLaren who's caught there. And Zinyatov played the ball through. Kiriakov comes forward. And it's a free kick just outside the penalty area. And again, Kiriakov thundering through. It was a nice play that between Todorov and Inyatov. They worked well together, and Kiriakov came with a run and was taken out of the play. So both sides forcing free kicks in the early stages of the second half, but still no scoring here on the right. Castanas has moved forward. Ball number 4 is one of the markers, and Andreu, who also carries a threat, is on the far side of the area. It's easily dealt with by Petric, who clears it upfield. Panayi, the sweeper. Looking for Gogits, but away by Petric. Stephen Wright. Andreu gets the touch to Stavro. Panayi, Kiriakov calls for it. Panayotou. It's well cleared by Goff. Obviously needs some support here. Castanas digs in well. Kiriakov, the referee, plays advantage. This is Inyatov.